Let's use what we even have. Even if you don't understand it, like the singing is just taking what you figure it out. It's what you do like. You gotta step into the phone. Sometimes you gotta chase it. And it's what you need. Sometimes you gotta chase it. And it's what you need. This moment is a cat on the mountain. This moment is a flower mountain. This moment is a planet town. It's going 4 miles in a week of our last pass. They say you know the precedence already passed. You gotta step into the phone. Sometimes you gotta chase it. And it's what you need.
Good morning, my people. How are you doing today? Just Jenko, Brian Alfred Wandera, Zas David Klaje, Warabi VIP, George Senkubuge, Nsubuga Ahmed, Paul Sema, and Muyombia Mark. Me, I respect the speed limits, you people. Yeah? Kati mulaba wano webera ng'olinga webigere ng'oli ku speed asatwana kukuba lyetta kuobodduka nnyo. That's the illusion. I don't know why it happens like that. Kati you guys can imagine wano wendi nimuvuga speed kinana ninga ali ku bigere okitegeera. But how are you guys? Today is Market Tuesday. Tell us about your products and services and where you're found. Tell us about your products and services and where you're found. Tell us about what makes you special. Kati me, I would love to tell you that I'm back in business. Pre-purchase inspection wonawali, car trackers wonawali. Because atera ambajikiza 30th August, Love for Cars Convention. Tuyige, tunyomirwe, tunetworking. If never service provider, if never spare provider, awo wonna wali eri atera tuni magazine ya fegendo okusookera ddala tugitwale mu bulungi. Benjamin Senfuma, how did you sleep? I hope you slept well. Yeah, today is Tuesday and it's the 24th of June 2025. Yes. So tell us, that's why I wanted to talk about formalizing business as a marketing tool for us. Yesterday I was chatting with someone that came to my place of work, and he wanted a mention on TikTok and YouTube. Now, my mentions are for the love of cars influencing. And influencing comes at a very high price. If you want a mention of your business, normally you pay 500,000 per video. That's quite expensive, for most people. So, but apparently most people have the idea that you're going to go give Arthur 100,000 according to your mention of video. Because me, I'm a professional marketer, I know what it means to do it the right way. Yeah, I know what it means to do it the right way. So all my mentions have a storyline that goes with them. That's why I charge a high price. Now, there are people that would come to me and say, well, I thought you just call because you get about this is a seafood day. You still you pay the same amount, especially if you don't want to follow the storyline. There are people that believe that they know very good marketing and I still do that, but still the same price. So I was chatting with him. He lives in Dubai and he has recently put a business here in Kampala. And he imports spare parts, body parts, not actually spare parts, but body parts mostly. And in the beginning, when he was telling me, it seemed like the business was huge. Which take me, he's actually a dreamer like me, dreams. And so apparently he has engaged a number of influencers. And what the influencers do is they go to his shop and they say, Oloye Arthur, mujje mumuwagire, atunda chino na chili na chili na chili. So he gets all the big names that he can get, influence for him, and go to his shop. And I think that's something that he wanted. Normally abantu webacho, omwaye emitwalo 10, nanywako amafuta waliga emitwalo 3, nena afisamu 7 n'abaawo. And he does that for a number of people. Now the question of whether it works or not, that's something that they would have to answer themselves, the people that have the influences at that fee. But if not that, I actually doubt it works, because marketing is not something that works in one day. You cannot have one marketing video or one influencer video do it for you. And I've tried to explain this to people so many times, but they don't get it. Marketing is something that works hand in hand with other tools, and they work over time. Which take it, we've said it here time and again. That's why Coca-Cola, Pepsi, that's why MTN, Airtel, that's why all those businesses still advertise. That's why even NSSF, which is a government body, where you're supposed to contribute by force every month, that's why it still advertises even then. So we're talking to him, and then he shared a story of how he went. He wanted to supply some insurance companies. He wanted to supply them with some of the body parts that he has brought into Uganda for their cars. And then when he went there, the first thing they asked him is, your business registered? What's your company name? Blah blah blah. All those things that companies or corporate organizations ask you when you want to get business from them, yeah. And he could not answer any of the questions, and that's the time that he woke up and said, okay, I need to register. I need to make my business formal. So that's what we're going to talk about as a marketing tool, because business formalization seems like it's a joke, like you register, or you should register only because you want to get big business, but that's not how it works. Ideally, hi Brigitte Kakai, Julia Sengo, Bruno Isingoma, Peter Mangeni, Petro, Hussein Munyantwali, Nabali Mokamori, I don't take you for granted. Good morning, thank you for choosing to be here. So, ideally, how we start business in Uganda and literally everywhere, someone has their business idea and they decide that they want to do it, yeah, but they want to see how it will perform, yeah. So they do it without registering anywhere. So they tell a number of people that, hi guys, I do this, I do this, I do this, and people start buying. Now it gets, normally people register when either URA has come to them or when KCCA has come to them. I say, okay, where is your trading license? And they don't have one. That's when they start registering businesses, and that's why you see that most people have business names that they have not really thought of. because it's in the panic of the moment that I need to register a business. They said I need to register a business. That's when they decide to register their business, and it's totally okay. But I find that it's something that we should have planned for a very long time. As you start to do some sort of trading or some sort of service providing, you think of, okay, what name will I give my business? Why? What sort of formalization will I have? Will it be a sole proprietorship? Will it be a limited by shares, limited by guarantee? Who's going to be my partner and stuff like that? Those are things that where is the location going to be and why? Now, normally in Uganda, people just wake up and say, okay, I think I can bring these things into the country. And they say, where are these things sold the most? And I say, okay, yeah, that's the place. So I'll open a shop there and put whatever I've brought, and then people will find it there and buy it. Yeah, only to realize later on that they did not actually need to put it anywhere. Now, you guys already know formalization, getting a location from the formalization process. Yeah, branding is part of the formalization process. Yeah, business registration with URSB, and for the guys that do manufacturing, getting the UNBS stamp is also part of the formalization. NSSF is part of the formalization. Getting a T number for your business is part of formalization. Filing returns, which we are supposed to be filing by the end of June. Yeah, okay, by after June we're supposed to be filing. So all that is part of formalization. Now, every time your business is formal, it is trusted. It is trusted. People believe that you're registered with the government, so you will not be cheating them. Are they so wrong? Of course they are. Capital Chicken was registered. Kasulu Property Consultant was registered. All those businesses that rip people off were registered. Not so? And they still rip people off, but still doesn't take away the mindset that if a business is registered as a limited company, it will not cheat. People just want the Kawad Limited at the end, which is why sole proprietorships don't make as much money as limited companies. It's a marketing tool. But what do I think? I think nobody should ever register their business until they know that they are ready to go all in. Because deregistering a business, yeah, or winding up a business is actually very expensive. And some of us that registered businesses way back, we are lucky that URSB itself came and said, these companies, we're going to deregister them by force if you don't come and I will say, okay, deregister the business. Me, I don't give a damn. And yeah, and so but maybe that might not happen anytime soon because the government wants taxes as much as possible. So maybe they'll find a way of saying so and so, such and such a person opened such and such a business in 2019. It's a limited company. They said their share capital was 5 million. So ideally, they should have grown to this level. And because the company itself is not paying tax, so we're going to force the owner, the majority shareholder, to start paying the tax on behalf of the business until they wind it up. Maybe they'll come up with something like that. I don't know if that's legal, but maybe they will. So don't register a business with URSB until you are sure that you're in with the business, you're serious about the business, that is, you're going to make it work, that you're ready to trade, that you're ready to give services and stuff like that. But you need to understand that people trust businesses that are registered with the government. Why they do that? Somehow they feel that they can go to the police and report that the company ripped them off and they get justice. One thing they don't know, that it doesn't actually. And also, as you formalize your business, I need you to always remember that once you register a limited company, yeah, you are not the same as the company. So if your business does bad to some people, they cannot report you as the owner. They can actually report you. That's why Jomai property consultants could go out of business without paying all the people you tripped off. That's why MS Kasulu property could go out of business without paying all the people that it ripped off. That's why Capital Chicken went out of business without paying all the people it ripped off, because a limited company is a person in its own. So you deal with a limited company on its own, which is why it's important that when your business is registered, you brand it and make it a person, make it an individual, make it exist outside yourself. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. You get it, you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, forget it. But that's what, Emmanuel Arenaito, how are you? So we are talking about formalizing businesses as a marketing tool. If a brand ever existed without formal registering, URA will come for you. URA will come for you, cases A will come for you, you get, and they will force you to register. But I find that also, if you want to do business, serious business with people that will trust you, that's a very nice building. That's a very nice building. It's going to have apartments, I'm thinking, yeah? Once you are your hardware, and then up, they're going to have apartments. The only downside is that building doesn't have parking. I don't know why building owners create buildings and they don't give them parking lots for their tenants. That's one of the weaknesses that people have. So we are talking about formalizing business. Morad K Momo VIP, good morning. We're talking about formalizing business as a marketing tool. So how it is actually a marketing tool. Capital Chicken could rip off people and not pay for it. Jomai Property Consultants could rip off people and not pay for it. MS Kasul could do the same thing and not pay for and not, you get it. Middle East Consultants, you get it. Middle East Consultant, I think the director got locked up because eventually it spills over when you overdo it. So I'm not saying that you register companies to rip people off, no, but I'm saying that it's also a form of protection to you as an individual. Right? And if you want to do big business, people want to do business with registered companies that exist. Right? Nti omuntu bw'omuwa receipt ng'eriko SPK Driving School Limited, there is a confidence they get. I don't know why that is. There is confidence other than when you give them a receipt that doesn't show that you are registered in any way. But whatever it is, guys, I want you to use registering your business as a form of protection for yourself. Because south at any time. Business can go south at any time. You've seen where a Take Bakery truck hit someone. The owner of Take Bakery was protected. So he could safely go and start another business or rebrand this one and start over. You guys have had the things with Platinum Credit. Yeah? And when Platinum Credit got its issues with people saying it's taking their property and stuff like that, they rebranded, then they brought Mogo, and then they brought a bunch of other companies there. So it's very easy. Nobody knows the owners of Platinum Credit or Mogo. Nobody knows the owners of Equity Bank. Nobody knows. You get, and even if you found out who the owners were, most people don't care. They care about the company because the company exists in itself. We have accounts in banks where we don't know who the owner is. So it's also a form of you creating an anonymity as you do business. Babidi, Babra, how are you? Sajid, how are you? So as you try to start a business, however, let's go back. We have formalized the business, we have registered it, or we have not yet registered it. So you have decided not to register it, but you want to get a physical location for your business. Physical locations are somewhat important, but they are not really important. Zenga Arthur, I can tell you one thing. Every time someone called me and they said they wanted to meet me, or if someone called me and they wanted a tracker and they said kakati nkusangawa, they never bought a tracker. Zenga Arthur, why? because Arthur has a bit of trust online. People know Arthur is not going to run anywhere. The moment someone wants to meet me at my office for a consultation, the moment someone wants to come to my shop to buy the tracker from a shop and then go with the tracker and then I give them a technician, they never buy. And I can sense it in the voice. Majority of the time when someone wanted to come to my location or to my office or where I am forward, majority of those times that person did not buy or purchase a product or service from me because they had trust issues from the beginning. So my question now is it important for us to get a physical location for our businesses, or what to virtual and then we just give people services? I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Now, I know friends of mine that opened shops in the CBD only to be there for like 6 months and realizing it doesn't really make sense, and they closed shop and they decided to sell their things online. That's where we are going. Of course, for like big businesses that have big capital like Jumia, I don't know if Jumia turned a profit, but the last I read about Jumia was not turning a profit; it was making losses. But of course, Jumia had I think it has those big corporations funding it, so they are waiting for the company to turn a profit. Davis Moweti high, Chris Da Vinci high, Lucky Mose high, Sebastian Robert high. So I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Now, there are so many people that are doing business from home. They don't have a physical location, they don't have an office, they don't have a shop, but they are doing very, very well. There's something that I also discovered. I don't know if some of you guys have seen it, especially the guys that have shops in shops or locations. I've realized that where you have a business where the number of your customers or your sales can be calculated by your landlord, normally it turns a risk of your landlord either increasing your rent or charging you more than they ought to charge you, simply because they think you're making a lot of profit. I don't know if you guys have seen that. So if you have a business where you sort of like import stuff and your landlord realizes that you're importing more than they think is normal, then they increase the rent. I've seen people complain about that. I bought another car and then my landlord increased my rent, and I wasn't happy about that. No one should be happy about that. Yeah. So I don't know if that happens, but I've seen it happen multiple times. And I've also realized that most of the businesses that make a lot of money are businesses where their sales cannot be calculated by the outside world. Look at a bank, for example. In a bank, you cannot calculate their profits unless they tell you. Mobile money, those airtime selling companies, MTN, Airtel, you cannot calculate their profits or their sales unless they tell you themselves. And they are the most profitable ones. The soda companies, you cannot know how much these guys are making until they tell you, and we never get to know until they publish their annual, whatever they call it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Every time your landlord can calculate your sales, you're at a risk of not making any more money or giving most of that money away to the landlord, because they will increase your rent. So people are turning to businesses where the landlord cannot know how much they are making by simply looking. That's a food for thought. It's just something I realized. Now you see, like places like these hardwares, the hardware owner is either the owner of the place or they got a lease for a very long time that the landlord cannot change their mind. So leasing seems to be something with that hardware. Leasing seems to be something that would work for us as we go on. Like if I lease your location for like 45 years, even if in the 10th year I start making a lot of money, you're not going to look at me and say, you're making a lot of money, now pay more. You can only do that after my lease has ended. But if I'm paying monthly rent and in the 6 months you realize I'm making a lot of money, then you can change. So why am I going there? I'm going there because not every business needs a physical location, and people have not yet learned that. There are businesses. Yesterday, I met someone who was trying to tell me that they make a lot of money from Uber. They actually don't make a lot of money from Uber. And even the app where they showed me they make a lot of money, they don't actually make a lot of money. It's an app called Special. He was telling me, Arthur, I can make up to 5 million a month and use fuel of 1.5 million. I said, come on, man. I drive cars since 2010. You cannot make 5 million driving a special hire, yeah, with fuel of 1.5. And then he told me a bunch of tricks that they used to make money. And I told him, yeah, without those tricks, you can't. Which take again. So let me see. Message VIP, good morning. For some online services to grow, you might need to do physical location. My business has been online, but since employees are increasing, I need an office to monitor and tutor them to do vision. Yeah, your business has grown, but majority of the time, for like the first 2 to 3 years, business don't actually need a physical location. Some of them, not all of them. Some businesses don't need a physical location. It depends on the type of business. Arthur, image someone running a hardware business. Imagine, yes, obviously hardware is something else. A hardware is something else. It's also capital intensive. Anyone that starts a hardware has money. But you take it. Banange start sinaba kumuulizaako. Sinaba kumuulizaako. Ngena mweza ka message tulabe. Atene wantanda bakuja. Henry Modern just good morning. Harris Mohindo, good morning. Kari go boda. Ngenda ampola. Hashim, good morning. Agonoski, this is Uganda. So guys, I've gone to find out. Of course, guys, as you're starting business, you need to know how. I don't know if the word I'm going to use is the right one. Porous. How vulnerable your business is to not working out. There are businesses that are too vulnerable to not working out, and yet they need physical locations of where Yagada. Looking at some businesses like restaurants. With the restaurants, majority of the time you need a physical location, yet restaurants have a very high failure rate. You get. And obviously, if you're going to start a business that you don't know the ins and outs of, it's obviously important that you reconsider having a physical location, because the physical location is normally very expensive. Very expensive. And then normally when we talk about a physical location, we only think about rent. But don't just think about rent. Think about all the other expenses that come with you having a physical location, the branding costs, the licensing fees. Think about branding. Think about the modification. As you brand, you modify it a little. If it's a shop, you put some of the furniture. If it's an office, you obviously put furniture, which take it. And then as all those expenses come, like for example, just imagine someone starting a petrol station. Or that petrol station in front of us is called Olivia. For that person to start a petrol station, just the physical things, like 40 to 50 million shillings. Just putting the physical things. You have not yet calculated the fuel that comes with it. You have not yet calculated licenses. You have not calculated the salaries. You have not calculated the leases, because you need to get a lease for the land. You get it? So 50 million gata kezalizo ogenda kwesanga okola petrol station eyo ogwera million nga 9 ku 10. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. About 800 million shillings. That's now only to end up that now they don't have anyone taking fuel right now. Tebayi now kati pump mkalu pump ezimu tezidi iko na bantu. Okitegeera, so you need to be. There is this one as well. That's another petrol station. Okitegeera, and for me to walk by a petrol station multiple times and there is no one. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. So before you get into business, and normally it's very, I've seen a lot of people that come on TikTok and they try to show us business yamanyi kola kwata million ya satu. For example, I saw a guy telling people to start petrol stations million ya 5 nti obota nse petrol station bitambula. I've seen people that are telling you to start goat rearing. They even tell you if tujja kulundira embuzi zo. So in actual sense, they are taking all the risk for you. Okitegeera gwe kwata million 10 na nyo zimpe jja kuwa million 12 mu myaka 3. That's something else. So but we are talking about formalizing business. Mulimu abayaya bagenda okubba abantu nga just because they are formal. You saw there's an organization that had an annual general meeting at Kololo. Ekyo kyokka kigenda bakolera sente. Just going to Kololo and having a general meeting for your shareholders. Ekyo kyokka kikuletera bakasitoma bayitirivu. That's a form of formalization. Bayina ne gundi Kololo nawe tewapangisika. Okitegeera just okuba nti basobola okufuna ekifo kye Kololo ne bateekawo meeting yaabwe. Ekyo kyokka kigenda starch omalize n'ojja. Sorry, starch. Kitegeera kyoyitamu kati okutya okuli awo kungi. I totally understand. Katukuteremu essaala starch man. Akiram, good morning. So guys, business formalization. Let me give you another example. Whatever your musajja avuga, I think that must be maize. The trader of that maize doesn't need to formalize their business ever. They don't even need a physical location. I have a friend of mine who is in that business, and what he does is that he sub-rents from a business that is already registered. Yena asasula rent. Owana abitereke ewuwe. Bwabitereke ewuwe when someone orders. Oba babiguzeeko babirekera. Oba what these guys are bakasoyinze benda byo kye bakola. Lwabigula lwabitunda. Nali ake nusu 2, nali ake nusu 3. But they buy in bulk. Okitegeera because bwagula tani 3 ngazi yako nusu 3. That's a lot of money. Obozi koze mu lunaku lumu. Okitegeera So that person will never need to formalize their business. That person will never need to formalize their business. Yet they'll be making much more money than even the people that are formalizing business. Qatar is our neighbor and it's only around 40 minutes by air. So I can see the impact. And in Bahrain, we also have USA bases. So you can imagine a Dinga movie. I know. So your network took me off around up there. So like I was saying, there are businesses that don't need formalizing. Marketing. I'll give you another example of a business that needs formalizing. There are businesses that actually don't need formalizing. What about well-being? They don't need to formalize at all. They don't. They could just go and do the sub-formalize. Because when you do a sole proprietorship, you're sub-formalizing. A sole proprietorship is still you, but in a name. Well-being. It's cheaper. That one you don't even have to wind it up. You just have to give up. Sole proprietorships don't even do that. They don't even do returns. They don't do anything. Right? But sole proprietorships, what do business zota sobola kola? But I find that most businesses in Uganda, especially in the first couple of years, you just need to do sole proprietorship and you'll be okay. What wow? Abech commando. What have you? I find that Abech commando episode in Bakura Center in Single restaurant is why their operational costs are really low. They are really low. So they are clinic without registering. There are businesses where you have to do away with some of the risk. Like a hotel, some of the risk goes back to the hotel. You don't want it to come to you as a hotel owner. Schools, it's better that you register the school under a company. Okitegeera neka twaliwo business omu internet cafe simanya photocopy services okitegeera like a bus company has to be registered as a limited company to protect you, the owner, from any risk that might come from accidents. So as if anyone wants to sue, they will have to sue the company and not you. What about if I buy maize milling machines to produce? I buy maize milling machines to produce the maize flour. Does it need formalizing? Yes, that's bigger than you trading the maize. That's big. I'm thinking, but you can start still with the sole proprietorship, and so that at the time when you need to get big business, which might never happen because abantu abalitaka soli omukubira ku chuma kyo boba tebayinza kugula ate nga basinga bagenda bera informal. So sole proprietorships, guys, by the way, sole proprietorship works for most of the businesses. However, if your business is something that has a high risk, katinga Henry Modern Juice, ntosobola okukola juice omuntu n'agamba yafunye food poisoning najja n'asuwinga. You don't want someone to sue Henry nga director. You want that person to sue Henry Modern Juice Limited, so that you're kind of protected. Oshitegeera, so that if you're negotiating, you're just negotiating to protect the brand. You get. There are some high risk businesses, ngaziri high risk nnyo. Security companies. Tojja kujaga menda pangisa omusirikale wo n'atankuuma bulungi kati njagala onzirize ebintu yange bibabba ng'omugamba company yakuwa terms ki. Gwe ng'omuntu basobola okukunyigiza naye bayinza obutasobola kunyigiriza company. And by the time they start getting the director, biba byasukka nnyo. Okitegeera tuveeyo eyo. People trust businesses that are formal. People trust businesses that have a physical location. People trust businesses. People trust businesses that have a brand. So formalization is actually a marketing tool. But the reason why I told you the businesses that don't need that formalization is I was trying to show you that there are businesses that will market themselves just ngazo zigenda kwe marketing ngazo business. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Nga business eyo egenda kwe marketing yokka nga teyetaaga ogibranding. Most garages are sole proprietorships. Izo garages motoka, because a car garage will work mostly with word of mouth. You fix a car for someone and it goes very well, they tell their friends and family about you. You don't work on their car properly, they don't tell their friends and family about you. And just like that, you lose out on business. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So there are businesses where you don't need to rush. There are implications of formalizing, guys. Implications like NSSF, because right now NSSF, the moment you register your business as a limited company, NSSF will come for you. They'll say you need to register at least one employee for NSSF. And then the moment you register your business, a couple of years down the road, if it is even a couple of years, URA will come to you and say you don't have a team, or you'll get business somewhere else and they'll ask you for your tax identification number. Why? Because for them they pay with VAT, which take their VAT registered, so they want to do business with people that have a team at least. And there, that might actually disturb you. So formalizing the business, implications that you guys need to think about before you think about all the good things that can come out of formalizing. There are so many good things that come out of formalizing, but those things are only worth it when they are worth it. Those things are not worth it when they're not worth it. Njudde okuyitako eno kampite yokko.
Okay, man. I love me, girl. She don't you want me. She don't you want me. But I tell her, yes, I tell her. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Now you are number one. Wasoka na kugamba ne kuyuma kupagwa. I tell you that, but you don't care. You don't give a damn, you don't dare. My number one girl, you rule my world. You took my heart, never a bad, but you made me beg. You made me beg. Every time I come over, you make me beg. But why? But why? Macho nimbo linza, ay. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Macho nimbo linza, ay. Sitting no motoka, sitting no kawanja, sitting no bling, jagala kuwa some love. Give me some love, be my better half. I promise I will never let you down, my girl. Till I ring, all the bills, many things don't mean nothing. For as long as you got my heart, I am watching out for my Sikumanyi bulungi njakwetegereza. I say yes, I say no, I say baby let's take it slow. You were my number one girl, you pulled my foot down, you took my heart. You brought me back, but you made me big. You made me big. Every time I come over, you made me big. But why? But why? I should never ever take what I say. See, I need you. But you do what you do ever again. Oh my world, it goes around and round. I love you so, I need you so, I never leave you so. Girl, I tell you this every day, every night, that I really feel you, I can't deny. Give us a chance, you and I. Give us a chance, you and I. Some love, but they are better half. I promise I will never let you down, my girl. I think it's gonna last so long. Time does not wait. Okay, man. Yes, we're talking about business formalization as a form of marketing or as a marketing tool. There are so many businesses here that are not registered formally and they're all surviving. Now, like businesses like guest houses, hotels, inns, lodges, you get all those businesses need to be registered as a limited company. Why? It kind of exonerates you as a business owner and puts the company in charge of all the risks. Now you can imagine the case where a doctor, you guys have heard of the doctor that died in a hotel, yeah? Do you know that now it's the company, the hotel, that has to answer? So the owner himself or herself doesn't actually have to come out and say anything. Is the public relations officer or the marketing officer that has to come out and say whatever they have to say and fix everything. That's how we have never known the owners of MTN. That's how we have never known the owners of so many different companies. Okujako, the times when the owners are actually the people that are running the businesses as well. But as long as it's not happening like that, the owners of the businesses are safe. But it's a form of marketing. Nti abantu bakwesiga nnyo. Okitegeera abantu basobola okwesiga segaba realizing even the government knows about. I don't know how that happens. Because if abakozeeko ku business for some time, we know that that might actually not matter for most cases. For most cases, might not matter. But if you want to do business, osobola okugifunamu, okitegeera abantu basobola okuwa their money nga tebeeronze nnyo, you need to go ahead and formally register that business with your recipe. You need to get a physical location, and majority of the time you also need to get a website these days. For people to be able to Google you and find you somewhere. I have Google My Business, have these social media pages. Sigama toyina byakola edda bagamanga abantu ababeeraga ku social media tebabanga byakola. I find that it's different these days. You have to be on social media, because if you're not, your competition is. You have to be on social media. You have to be on TikTok as a business. You have to be on Facebook. You have to be on YouTube. You have to be on all these channels, because if you don't be there, your competition is going to be there, and then you'll end up losing. Mr. Arthur, how about us in events? Yes, you actually need to be in even events to register. I've seen people that come and tarnish people's names, yeah? Nebajja bwe bakoonona gwe nga nsereko starch. Ne bagamba nsereko musajja mubi nnyo atimba bubi. Of course, I've seen so many people that do businesses and they personalize them. Ne bagamba nti nsereko starch wa starch events yakyasinza okutimba. Okitegeera nsereko starch events. Nsereko bwe banakuba, your entire business can come down. But if it's Starch Events Limited, for example, I'm just giving an example. Starch Events can actually come out and defend itself. It can use all the tactics. But in Nsereko Starch, it's hard for Nsereko Starch to use all the tactics that the Starch Limited can use to defend himself. Why? Once a person has been tarnished, they have been tarnished. A person is different from a company. Nenga company sobola okudde engulu. With the company, you can say management yakyuse, you can say we have changed our promise, company yarefunding nze okyegera naye erinnya ly'omuntu bwe lyonooneka liba lyonoonese ate mu events wali very delicate starch okitegeera. So with businesses that says, of course now our architects are all doing this style. I don't know, but architects by Uganda bonna beekupa. That is the original ideas. Now you're going to see all the buildings look the same. I think it's just a period where all architects are doing the same thing. So start on Tegede. Travel Life Vlog, good morning. Nabasa Stewart, good morning. Regan Semigard. Igumba Jonathan, good morning. Sean Brown. I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, there are businesses that are very delicate. There are businesses that are very delicate. Katingea events are delicate. You don't want to work to do all these events, create a name, and then someone comes and tarnishes it at once. As an individual, it's very easy for someone to tarnish your name and you never get business ever again. No gua. Guys, look at all the businesses that have gone down. They have gone down because they were personalized. Look at Jomai. Look at MS Kakasulu Property Concert, Property Masters. Look at which business? And these are businesses that went down not because they did very badly, but because the owners were attacked. Ontegera, Samona Jerry started going down the moment while Matthias Walukaga started attacking the director of Samona himself, Salongo Samona. people started not buying the products. Eh? Yet, I can tell you for a fact that if that business had existed anonymously, nga tetumanyi Saalongo nti yenanyini Samona, naye baalimu attackinze nga Saalongo, okitegeera, Samona Jerry would have been safe. Okitegeera. Naye kati when people attack you, then they start attacking the things that people relate you with. Which is why it's important that you formalize, register those businesses properly. And you see, such, it's not that all service businesses are dedicated, but your business in particular is a high stake game. Until you want customers to be dealing with such events. Until whether you that's why companies like Photogenics Limited, we don't even know who the owner of Photogenics is. Company like Events Limited, company. There are so many companies that exist, and people know that the business will deliver even when the owner is not. They don't even know who the owner is. Right? But people know. Now, when people know who owns the business, then as a business owner, you need to be very careful. That's why people like Mandela, or Mandela Mirrors, Cafe Javas, City Tires is very careful. I know he is. Mandela mwali the coach, Tewali, because his businesses are all tagged to him. If he has investors invest in him, not in businesses. They trust that he's going to do their money justice. I think Mandela or Yoga yachasinzo kubera careful. And in Uganda, because we have a culture of knowing who the owners of the businesses are, every time a business exists and we don't know who the owner is, natuka a business ya Museveni. I'm also a culprit. A business ya gundi ya munamaje gundi. So that's just a culture thing. We know. Butwaberanga kuchalo twamanyanga eduka lya mama gundi, hardware ya tata gundi, gundi ya Saalongo, esomero lya Nalongo. We want to know who the owners of the businesses are. But where we are going, nobody knows who owns Jumia or Segera. Nobody even knows who owns Safe Border anymore. Yet you use their services. So I find that you guys should not be scared. You guys should not be scared. Who you know, what you know. What we need to do is, when you formalize all the way. Branding, location, even so that people can trust you. Which tegera. Ngida basi ule sawa yangi yawezedda. Tenawera yawezedda. Ndabo budde butukane bwe resetting alulimba de mudachika na kati mudachika 3:5. Inkuba nerake etonye mu bwayise muno. Abike etonye newera. So formalizing is going to try to give you the ability to separate yourself from your business, to win the trust of people. People trust businesses that are registered formally, even when they know who the owner is. they'll easily trust you, knowing that the government can arrest you when they need to arrest you, not necessarily them. So guys, especially the guys that are coming back from abroad, the guys that are planning to start businesses when you're local, think about formalizing, but don't hurry to formalize. Don't hurry to formalize. Bw'opapa ennyo kijja kukolera loss. If abamwedde abakolanga companies eddedda mukama yatuyamba, government yennyini n'ezeggyirawo, ne tubanga ekyo tuwonya ekyokuwinding up. Winding up a business is a very expensive thing. Okitegeera ojja kwesanga registering a business cost you 500,000, naye nga winding up will cost you 3 million. So don't be first to register a limited company in any way. A sole proprietorship, maybe sole proprietorship will probably cost you 60,000 shillings to register, and you don't need to wind it up. It can stay there. Nkokonjeru Town Council enkube etonya. But Mr. Arthur, who doesn't know the owner of Photogenic City, Mr. Tom Chigundu, ate yasoka kuba bifaananyi. Anti golimu events, for you it's very easy for you to know. And for me it's the first time to hear about Tom Chigundu. Bade simuwulirangako. Okitegeera. That's because you're in the business. Abantu abali mu business eyo bamanya nannyini, because it's your job to find out who your competition is, right? Guys, kamba sibule. Thank you very much for choosing to be part of the broadcast today morning. I hope you have picked something. Just Jenko, Brian Alfred Wandera, Zas David Klaje Warabi VIP, George Senkubuge, Nsubuga Ahmed, Paul Sema, Louis, Muyombia Mark, Benjamin Senfuma, Koli, Hussein Munyantwali, Peter Mangeni Petero, Bruno Insingoma, Julia Sengoba, Brigitte Kakai, Emmanuel Arena Yitwe, Benjamin Senfuma Sajid, Babidi Babra, Chris Da Vinci, Lucky Mose, Davis Muhwezi, Sebachije Robert Kambes, VIP, Hashim, Agnostic, Akiram, Starch Events, Shane Brown, Nabasa Stewart, Travel Live Vlog, Willow Love, Gerald TP, Kalema Dixon, Chikawariki, Nabasa Stewart, Danny Okenu, and Nevesogedeko, Morad K Momo VIP, Paul Sema. There are a lot of people there. Babadeku Live, I think, on network website Deco. Amanya Chairman Zach, Nabari Mukaboli, I don't take it for granted. Name of a guy. Okuvebuziga kwangu okusinga okuvene waffe. You know, yesterday I started running at 9. I think it was 9:10. I mean, Starch agambye abakyala ababeera ku love for the love of cars mwebale nnyo kubeerangawo. Brigitte Kakai, Babidi Babra, mwebale nnyo Viola Namiro, mwebale nga nnyo kubeerako ku broadcast. Smart guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning, Lifestyle Wednesday. May the good Lord bless you. Let me take in the traffic jam. May the good Lord bless you guys. Don't forget 30th August Turiku Bat Valley Theatre, Love for Cars Convention in Mitwale Tano Joka, and obviously in all our videos Kabira Katambula wansa wa okulowa third enamba y'essimu gy'okubako. Mukama abawe omukisa. Ciao.